This is Joshua here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by Hamzah Sheeraz here over Zoom. Hamzah, really appreciate your time today. It's good to catch up with you. And how's everything, first of all?
Yeah, no, likewise, man. All good, all good. Just here in New York, settling in. Yeah, looking forward to it. Looking forward to fight week and fight night.
Absolutely. It's a huge fight for yourself, one of the biggest of your career. I'd say the only fight I could probably name that was bigger was probably the last one for the world title, but a new journey up at 168. Why now to move up in weight class, first of all?
Because it'd be detrimental to my health otherwise. And that's the simple answer. Like last fight, win, lose, or draw, whatever, we was going to move up anyway. And yeah, man, I feel like it's the right move, and I got a big fight, right opportunity to make things right again. So yeah.
You mentioned it being detrimental to your health if you were to stay at middleweight. How come you decided to stick around? Was it that world title shot? That world title shot was so close in the picture that, regardless of the health aspect, when it's in that close touch and distance, you kind of have to stick around, don't you?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. You have to because you're there. You've done all the work. You're there, and it'd make no sense otherwise to move up. So it was kind of a sticky little situation to be in. But that's done now. That's the past, and I've learned from it.
How tough was it getting to make the weight, especially when you started to first have the signs? Like, if the world title shot wasn't in the picture, how many fights ago do you think you would have moved up instead?
Probably straight after the Emma Williams fight, I would
Okay.
have. Yeah, I would have definitely. That would have been the perfect time to do it. Do you know what I mean? Um, but where I was in terms of that being an eliminator, I was there when I was there. I was in touching distance, so I kind of had to stick around.
Absolutely. And then looking at next weekend, Edgar Berlanga, the man in the ring across from you. It seems there's a bit of tension between the two. Tensions are rising as the fight gets closer. What's your thoughts on Edgar Berlanga as a fighter and a person, first of all?
As a fighter, I think he's a good fighter. Um, Experienced, powerful, strong. Um, so yeah, I'd be a fool to think otherwise. But as a person, I just think he's a clown. He's he's an interesting character for sure. But like I said, I don't despise him. I've always said that boxing needs personalities like him, needs personality like him to draw more fans and to draw more attention. So yeah, man.
Obviously, going into the fight for yourself for the first time in your career, obviously, while still undefeated, you're going into it without winning the last fight. I spoke to Frank on Monday and asked if he feels there's a bit more pressure on you to perform, especially after the back of the Adames fight, where a lot of fans think it was a fortunate result. Do you feel there's a sense of pressure for yourself to go out there and really make a statement?
Not really, no, not really, no, because everyone doubts, you're only as good as your last performance. Do you know what I mean? So going into a big fight straight away, I think instantly I get the respect there of the people of the boxing world and of the fans of the sport as well. But it's more like, here we go. I've got an opportunity to do it again and to make it right. So it's more for myself than anything else.
Do you almost feel like it's a bit of a clean slate now? You know, your time at middleweight's over. You had a successful reign there, and it's almost like the start of a new journey up at 168.
Yeah, no, for sure, definitely. Um, and a big fight to go into it straight away that catapults you. God willing, I get the win, and then you're there. You don't have to kind of fight contenders to make your name at one in 168. You're there. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, great fight to go into.
And without overlooking Edgar Berlanga next week, a win would probably sit you nicely in a shot to get a world title fight against Canelo. Um, Turkey's obviously stated his plans, so does it give even more? Obviously, you're always going to want to go in the ring and try and win, but knowing what is lying in the future and seeing what Turkey's plans are, does that give you that extra fire, knowing that a mega fight is round the corner if you beat Edgar Berlanga next weekend?
Yeah, no, definitely, because there's a lot more at stake in there, a lot more at stake. But mine is just concentrated on this fight now. Do you know what I mean? Everything, all my energy, all my focus is on the Edgar Berlanga fight. I'm not even kind of like nothing in my head is mentioning the name Canelo. There's nothing there unless I get past Edgar. So everything stops with him for now.
Absolutely, it's a solid mindset to have. Just before I get your thoughts on that fight, I just want to quickly touch on the change of team now, linking up with Andy Lee, who's
Yeah.
one of the most well-respected trainers in the sport, in my opinion. How did the opportunity to work with Andy come about, first of all?
It was just someone who I've always kind of like had in the back of my mind. You know what I mean? Someone who you've seen what he's done with his fighters in terms of Joe Parker and Ben Whitaker and whatnot. And I thought, especially after my last performance, the time was right then to move over to him and to kind of learn a lot from him. So yeah, that's how that come about.
Is it good working with him as well in the sense of in his career he was a middleweight as well, and a very high level middleweight as well, so he can kind of relate to you in the sense of obviously you fought at a similar weight and 168 isn't a massive difference to where he fought as well. Do you feel that makes it a lot easier for you two to work together as he's got such a good understanding of how to work as a middleweight?
Yeah, 100%, a million percent. Especially being similar in frame as well, tall and skinny. He understands things that only tall and skinny fighters would understand. So yeah, it definitely makes sense, and it's definitely a lot. It's reassuring.
Absolutely. Just while I've got you, Hamza, I just do want to quickly get your thoughts on two big fights happening around your weight division. Obviously, the name Canelo has been mentioned already. He takes on
Yeah,
Terence Crawford in September in what is one of the biggest fights we've seen in a long time in boxing. How do you see fight playing out? Who do you make the favorite heading into it?
Canelo. I think Canelo wins by knockout, by late stoppage. I think he wins by bold statement because Crawford's a generational talent and elite fighter. But I feel like there's weight classes for a reason. Crawford said it himself in a few interviews he done a couple of years ago. But obviously, when there's a lot more money on the table, that changes, doesn't it? But yeah, I see Canelo winning by stoppage.
What makes you favour not just obviously the weight classes, but skill set wise? Why do you think Canelo stops Crawford?
He's been in with all the styles. Um, Listen, Bivol kind of if he was up there with Bivol, and Bivol was one of the most elite 175 pounders there are, and Canelo's a natural 160, 168 pounder. So for him to go up there and do it, I don't think the skill set of Crawford would really trouble him either.
Do you think another big factor as well is the inactivity in Crawford's career? When we look at his box rec, he's had one fight every year since 2019. So 6 years and six fights. It could be a bit of a factor on the night. And do you believe?
I don't think it could be. It will be. You know what I mean? It will be, especially fighting at this elite level. But I suppose saying that he'll understand what he's up against, someone he ain't been in the ring with before, and the elite level of fighter that Canelo is. So, yeah, be an interesting one, but I still stick by what I said.
Absolutely. And then just last one, Sunday night we saw the breaking news that Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn will be rematching at 160. Um, Obviously all fighters' weight cuts are unique and all everyone has their different ways of making weight. But a big talking point has been Chris Eubank Jr. and the sauna usage, and with the rematch being at the same weight. Do you believe it's safe for that, especially so quickly after the first fight and what we saw in the aftermath? Do you believe it's safe for Eubank to be adhering to those weight rules again?
It depends how he's recovered. Do you know what I mean? And if the rehydration thing is still there, I feel like prediction-wise, I think Conor Benn will win by knockout because you got to remember Eubank Jr. is older now. He's not like he's younger and his body can soak up all that abuse and recover from it. Um, it takes a long time, and on top of that, it was a hard fight as well. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? A very, very hard fight, and like once again, I understand it's very, very financially rewarding, um, and it kind of makes sense to do it. But I think for his performance, ain't gonna help.
Is that where you see it, the difference as well, looking at how brutal that first fight was, and we saw that Eubank was in hospital for 2 days after the turnaround from the end of April to the end of September. It's a quite a quick turnaround, isn't it?
Very quick, very quick. You think it'd at least have like kind of a year out, a year break, just to kind of really let the body recover. But yeah, I think it all favours towards Conor Benn, and then they'll probably end up doing a trilogy if it's 1-1 as well. So yeah, it's kind of never it'll be never ending, isn't it? One of them ones.
Fair enough. Well, Hamza, I'm going to let you go. Thank you very much for your time. Really do appreciate talking to you today, and best of luck next week and as you headline against Edgar Berlanga.
Thank you very much, buddy. Thank you.